1, 2, hey. Sure.
Take 3, that looks good. Coming to you. Ready, 3, and take 2. On 2. 2, you're live.
Jackass!
Well, hi, folks, from the best little podcast studio in Roanoke, Texas. It's time once again for the Show Tech Show. Thank you for joining us. What's that?
You might have to fix the
A
opener.
little editing.
Yeah, sorry about that. Try to do that with no editing.
See, if you
but-
play it cool, the pre-recorded audience never knows there's a flub there. Just cut that right out. So, good luck on that one. But it's Sunday night, so that means it's time for yet another Show Tech Show here on the Lone Star Webcast Network. I am your host, Rick Harr, reporting live from the set. Alongside me is not Scott.
Invisible
He's
Scott.
running late. Yeah, it's Invisible Scott.
Yeah, it's Invisible Scott.
So if I get felt up inappropriately during the show, we'll have a culprit.
Beware.
That voice you're hearing in your monitor is RTD Jordan. Say hi, Jordan.
Hello.
There he
Why
is.
it dissolving?
Who's dissolving?
Dissolving. I don't get dissolves.
Oh, Scott's here, but he's locked out. I just heard the doorbell. I'm just going to buy time. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the importance of mentoring in the show tech business and the importance of bringing up the subsequent generations and stagehands and assistants and how it helped us and, how we support that cause by also mentoring going forward. So we'll have a little bit of discussion on that in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
We'll also be giving you some leads on some cool industry gigs from around the country, as we do every week in our job board segment, keeping you highly employed and able to donate money to us. And as always, we'll be catching up on the news in a little segment that we like to call Next. And edit.
Next!
So we'll do a little re-rack here because Scott's here. Scott informs us late breaking news here. Yeah, I know. 8 o'clock, buddy.
happens.
We lock out at 8 o'clock. Command lockout enabled. So Scott just coming off the back of a nasty theater strike. Was it bad or was it just an average strike? Normal strike. Well, thanks for joining us. I was just telling the viewing audience at home, the fine folks watching us tonight, that we will be discussing mentoring is tonight's topic.
Oh, God.
I believe you suggested that topic last week. Did I? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sounds like a great topic then. Yeah, that. And as well as job boards, and we just kicked off the next segment. So first up in the news segment, let's take it to one of Jordan's. He was telling me we were having a little pre-show discussion about.
Hold on. It's seriously, something's up with the new way it's doing it. It's just like I hit something and it just fired off next all of a sudden. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm failing at producer job again. It's like, why is it all working perfectly now? It's like acting stupid.
Because we're live.
Yep, that's it.
Live production, folks. That's how it happens.
Okay.
But anyway, we were talking pre-show about Clearcom's new product you found on NAB. This is
Yes.
Agent
So-
IC. Tell me about it.
All right, so we got here this Agent IC. It's a new kind of Clearcom system that is integrated into their. Let me show a picture of it real quick. If my computer will work now. So
My
So
sources
it's,
say
it's
no.
a new iPad, iPhone, as of right now iOS app
Okay.
that you can integrate into the Clearcom system. It's pretty daggone good. I mean, it makes it's through the web, internet web, Wi-Fi, cell data as of right now. They kind of talked about this at NEB this year. I didn't have a chance to go by the Clearcom booth, as many of my other stuff was.
Yeah, you kind of had a whirlwind twirl.
Yeah,
whirlwind twirl.
There's a bunch of stuff
Tour.
like, oh, you have to look at this and look at that.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we go there. I'll
But
try
this is
to.
cool. The idea of a wireless smart
Well-
device connected network for production comms.
And honestly, the only thing that you have to have is this base station, this unit, and then you can basically buy all the devices to go with it. And you don't have to be in one building. You can also put this into your, like for news, you can put this into your TV truck,
Was this like the same thing that you and I were screwing around with?
Is your mic on?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I got him. He's a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
soft.
it was something similar like that, but yeah, it's almost similar, but it's now on a
Does
trustable
anyone worry about the delay?
the delay.
Yeah.
With
well, for comms, it's like telephone delay. It's like my analogy for this pre-show, and we can take the product shot down. I don't know. Was this is basically Vonage for production comms. So
yeah, honestly, it has. I mean, it has some great features to it. I mean, just some different like. You can go peer to peer. You can talk person to person. You can go person to party line. You can have
Yeah.
just a general party line. You can have notifications and stuff like that on your cell phone, so it'll vibrate when somebody's trying to get a hold of you. All this interesting stuff. It's great for like if I was saying like in news, your ENG trucks that go out there. If they need to communicate back with the studio, they can use your cell phone. You can talk with the through IFB to the talent.
So yeah, and
with the
this
comm
was my
system,
question
the
before the
direct-to-dish
show.
network.
I was wondering. So is this something that it creates a little ad hoc Wi-Fi network, and all the devices have to be?
God, this thing is just looping.
It's just looping. It
I'm
won't
trying to
stop.
prep stuff while I'm like here, and it's not. Yeah.
Sorry for trying to do my job.
Yeah, just trying to do my job.
No, but sounds like this thing is it's more of a cloud-based service, so you don't have to do any special connectivity, and you don't have to be on the same mini network or anything. So the beauty of that, if you're a larger scale production, if you got PAs running around the city or all over the facility,
And like,
as long as they've got either a cellular data connection or a Wi-Fi connection, some sort of connection to the internet, and then through this app back to the cloud-based service, you can all be in the loop and connected. So you're not just within the range of XLR cables or some kind of radio frequency. If you're doing a wireless system, this is an internet connected system, so it gives you a lot of reach. That's pretty
and
cool.
say for instance for for events like the Olympics or X Games and stuff like that, when you have multiple venues across a whole city,
Yep.
you want something to be able to communicate with each individual platform or each individual stadium and stuff like that. And this is a great way to do that. You can have numerous people there that you can communicate with.
Yeah, very
It-
scalable.
It's simple, and I mean, it's it's going to be probably cost worthy up front because you still have to have a base station. Like another app that me and Scott were looking at, where you can buy a certain amount of users. That's
Yeah.
something for a small scale, and you don't have to have a base station. You're basically going to have your cell phone, and you just talk like this. I mean, you could connect it up to a base station if you wanted to, but for something simple, you
Makes
can
me
have
wonder
an
what that
iPad,
base
iPhone.
station does, like what the hardware functionality of that base station is. If everything's really cloud-based and that base station is just kind of your ticket to get access to it, or
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
I think so also.
It could be Wi-Fi based
Yeah, that's what my
That's
question
what
at
the
first.
base
Like, is this a
station might be.
little like local?
because the one that him and I tried out, the lag time was almost a second and a half, which makes it useless
Ah.
for live.
So it's like
production.
doing production coordination with Russia.
Yeah. I mean, the lag time was so
Move
bad
the
that-
spotlight.
Yeah,
Move the
it-
spotlight.
By the
Well,
time your
hey, did you
stage
guys want me to move
manager
that spotlight?
by the time your stage manager says go for the blackout, they've been
Oh, God,
standing in
yeah.
it for 3
Well,
seconds.
and you got to think of this. That was cell connection. Like if I'm talking with you on the cell phone, we're here. It's probably a 5-6 second delay, no matter what. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
even
know
if we're
about
on a
that.
cellular technology.
My wife and I are
and that's
very
where the-
lazy.
That's
lazy.
why I'm
We'll
saying the
frequently
base
talk to
station
each
is
other.
probably Wi-Fi based.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and so does the base station give you the ability to connect with other wireless Clearcom devices?
Yes.
or,
That's
okay.
what it enables.
So
you
it
to
kinda
also-
marries the
it's-
internet
It
connection
marries
and
it
the
so you can still
Clear.
have your wired belt packs to camera operators.
Well, it seems like it's cool. It seems like it's a pretty scalable
because
option.
your camera operators are still going to have have their comm through their camera.
Yeah, and Jordan, you were
And-
saying that that this is simple, but I mean, it actually sounds like it's pretty complex. The offerings you get as an
Yeah.
iPad app user, like you were talking about the point to
It's a,
point,
it's a simple
the
UI
subnets
on
and
the
everything
app,
you can
though.
set up. But yeah, it's funny that you can have all that complexity, but if you somehow magically squeeze it into an iPhone app, that everyone's like, oh yeah, that's easy. My child can use this. But if you give somebody like Microsoft Outlook, they're like, oh, I don't know computers. I'm not good with technology. I don't know things. Like, it's an on-off button. It's not that hard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do that. But if you give an iPad app, they're like, oh yeah, do you want me to call you on the multi-line? Or do you want to get on Subnet 2? Or do you want to go over on the
Kids are
Wi-Fi? I don't know. So yeah, that's a cool product. Thank you for bringing it up to us. And I will go ahead and say next.
Next!
Looping. Hey, you win. All right. See? Give us a little time to get baked in here, folks, and we'll rock this thing for you. News this week: GoPro is planning to buy or has bought a VR company.
Oh,
So that's interesting. There's a lot of news in this prosumer sports point of view camera network. I think Apple has announced that they're or they've placed patents or something that they're breaking into the scene. So a lot happening with that. But GoPro looks like they have potentially the technology being lined up to offer a 360 kind of cam. So in those sporting environments, so instead of just the fish angle, the wide angle lens, the fisheye lens on your skydiving helmet, now you've got something that gives you a full 360 view. So as you're plummeting to your death through somebody else's point of view, you can look around and kind of enjoy the view a little bit more instead of being tied to that direction. I think that's like I said, I've already said that I'm all in for this technology. So I'm excited to see more people come to the market with that, especially somebody like GoPro, who's kind of known for their durability, survivability, ease of use, quality.
Have you seen like videos of these GoPros like falling from these parachuters and stuff like that? These skydivers,
No.
they fall like 1,500 feet out of their case. And
Oh,
just
yeah,
hit
and
the
there's a-
ground. It's
Well,
just
it's kind of like an insect,
fine.
you know, like a small bug falls off a skyscraper, and it's like, meh, that's fine. But these cameras are such like little wafers that, you know, as long as you don't smack that lens right on the corner of a rock or something, yeah, there's really not much you can do to them. It's kind of cool. And then if you do have the case, they're all but waterproof and everything. So I think the one drawback I read in this, the last camera we reviewed, they were still trying to figure out how to do the surround sound audio to match the surround sound video. But I don't know. I just think this is a cool way to offer event coverage. So, what do you think about lights?
I love lights.
Tell us about lights, Scott. Scott, you look good. Thank you for joining us, by the way. I know you've been burning the candle at both ends lately, so your continued commitment is wonderful.
Thank you.
Looking quite dapper tonight.
Thank
Got
you.
the slicked back. What are you rocking? Nice.
Yeah.
So we try not to have political messaging on this network too much, but Scott Davis is a firm believer of the Chewy Solo ticket for 2016.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Can you guys hear me?
Vote early, vote often.
Yeah, because I can barely hear
It's
myself.
cutting in and out.
Give him a little bit more trim on slider number
Yeah.
2.
Just a little bit more
just a little.
trim.
He's going to start screaming later. It'll be
No,
peeking
really.
all over the place.
You know what? I've had this bad sore throat for a week, and it got really good last night.
Yeah.
But I went to the Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
So
We're talking about that in a little bit here, too.
that didn't work out well for me.
Well, let's say next. We'll do a transition. That was a good segue.
It was.
So-
Was.
Boo.
My
Where's the
fingers
video?
were- my fingers were
Don't want to
getting
hear it.
touchy.
Gross. No, I was joking. So, Jordan, you've got a story about Twitter Periscope piracy, and
gosh.
I thought this was connected to Fight Night.
Oh.
Yes. So basically,
Naturally.
last night, or I hate to date it, Saturday night, May 2nd.
Saturday, May 2nd, the
May
year of our
2nd.
Lord 20 and 15.
In
In
2015
2014.
AD,
15.
there's a fight
15.
between Floyd Mayweather Money Jr. and Manny Pacquiao.
Get the hook in.
Pac-Man.
Get the hook in.
Okay. So, it was first off is probably I don't know how many people were watching this thing. I mean, it was there's their sense. In fact, they had to delay the fight like 45 minutes because so many people were trying to go to their cable providers and stuff like that. It crashed their server. But people basically
Crash the server.
Time Warner
of
and
the-
Charter was having a service outages prior to the fight because it just people were trying to call
That's
in
interesting.
and,
So they
you know,
delayed the
stuff like-
fight because the carriers
Yeah,
couldn't.
It's delayed because the
That's
providers
annoying.
have dealt with all the issues and stuff like that. So
But I guess they're getting paid $140,000 a second.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll wait.
$140,000
Oh, yeah, that's
second.
fine. We'll wait. Yeah.
So yeah, so they're like, we want to get as many viewers as we can, and so we're going to do this. So oh, my belt pack keeps on falling off.
See if we were using a Agent IC, wouldn't be a problem.
All right, so once the fight started, this is the issue. Like, people are paying for the pay-per-view matches, $100 to $150 for the match, for a quick match. So they had the issue with this also with the Game of Thrones release, or when the Game of Thrones premieres or something like that, with Periscope and Meerkat.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Basically
Yes.
broadcasting the Game of Thrones to everybody in the world that didn't have HBO. Same thing with the boxing match last night with people that
In stunning
didn't really-
240p.
Even though
and-
people in Mexico got it for free.
but people in Mexico
Yeah,
get
I
it
heard that.
delayed it's a delayed an hour. So like while all of us that watch it live are cheering, they're still watching the insurance guy and construction worker guy fight it out in the prelims
Oh,
in the undercard. But so yeah,
actually,
back to
yeah, I think the fight results were pretty much instantly on Twitter. So if you weren't watching it live,
That's
you
the
were
thing,
pretty much
it's
left
like-
in the dust. I mean,
because I think one year I did watch the boxing match like through the channel in Mexico, and on everybody on Twitter and Facebook. I didn't know it was delayed, so I was like watching it, and I was on Twitter and Facebook. I'm like,
what's
oh,
happening?
they won, but I'm still watching it. What is this? Like, yeah, it's free to watch here, but it's free to watch. in
But you have
Mexico,
to
but
travel back in time.
You have to like be on an hour delay. I'm like, oh well. But yeah. Anyways, Periscope. People were live streaming on Twitter, Periscope and Meerkat.
So,
the whole match.
Funny bit
basically
for next year when we have another big fight is we'll live tweet the hour delayed event. Be part of the late breaking news. Like, oh, this just in.
I mean, I don't know why they're.
Another stunning hit in the first round. Dude, it was over
They're
like half an
calling
hour
it.
ago. Oh, guess what, guys?
I mean,
So-
the only way you're going to stop stuff like that is by banning
Eyeballs.
phones. And
Yep.
No, it's not. It wasn't even phones that.
EMP.
It wasn't even phones that were inside the arena. It's phones that were actually shooting TVs.
Yeah, you had a
Like-
great video on your phone earlier
Yeah,
of someone
I,
like,
I had a video on my phone, but it's just somebody that's basically watching the match on their phone from somebody else's phone that was shooting their TV.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
it's
great.
almost like
It was a
how,
you-
how
was
are you
a-
going to stop that?
it's almost an exception. Well, the only way they could stop that, I think, was like a probably like putting a 30-second or 1 minute, 2 minute time limit on your broadcast or something like that.
Yeah.
But
that's a very
I-
tough question because, I mean, so like movies, you're sort of protected because you want to go see your Age of Ultron or whatever in high definition 3D. You want
Yeah.
all the high quality graphics and the best quality sound. You're not going to be satisfied with watching the cell phone piracy video version of it. That's awful. But a live event, I mean, you don't really care to watch the perfect graphics and all the you hear the blow by blow punches of the production. I mean, that has some value, but really you're just there to see the punches. And I mean, if you're watching that in, high school cell phone video, it's all about the event. It's not about the quality.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I mean, if it's
I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
yeah, it's just somehow one thing they got to figure out how to do is charge less than $100 per person to watch that. That's stupid. I mean, how do they?
I think if you lower the price down from like $20, I
Well,
mean,
that's
just for the pay-per-view match, you might have more people on.
I mean,
there.
that's basically what the record industry ended up doing. Is like, dude, we can't keep selling compact discs for $20. Nobody's, when you can download a song, like people just go rip the whole thing off. Well, they don't, and it was the same kind of thing. Like people don't want all those songs. I mean, it's great to have 35 songs in your disc, but people only want the 2 or 3 radio singles. Why don't Apple said, why don't we just pay charge $1 per song?
I still buy the full disc.
You do, and they end up making more money that way. So, but basically, if they lower the cost to a reasonable point where people don't feel compelled to steal it via
mean,
Periscope,
It
they'll make
costs
more money.
It costs 3 cents to make a CD, and they charge $10. Somebody's making money.
That's not the artist, but that's a different thread.
Oh.
But yeah, my advice to you, HBO, eventually this is going to become unstoppable, and at that point is when you need to seriously consider not paying your fighters $140,000 per second. Maybe you could lower that to a
Good
more
luck with that.
manageable. I'm pretty sure you're still going to be able to find 2 guys to beat each other up for less than that. Let's compromise. Let's meet halfway on it and pay them $70,000 a second. I mean, really?
Okay,
Really?
It's coming. It's coming to a point with that. With everything, actually. If you look at it, NASCAR got up
NASCAR.
to $120 a ticket.
Yeah. Dallas Cowboys.
They sold out stadiums for 3 years like that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll
Now
work.
they're running at 60, 70% houses.
Well, I think it's like all things. They milk it to the end. They don't do what's good
It's-
for the consumer. They do what's good
it's-
for the company. And they do what's good for the bottom line. And as long as people are still
Jerry
willing to pony
Jones
up.
charges $75 to park.
Yeah.
People pay it.
Yeah, not
as
Dallas
long-
people, but people.
As long as you got stupid people out there paying for it.
Yeah. And rich foreigners want to come in and watch the Dallas Cowboys lose to everybody.
And here's
Enjoy.
the thing: is the thing about where Cowboy Stadium here is located, or AT&T Stadium, or something like that. That
AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys.
There's no good public transportation system like American Airlines Center that where you can ride a train and dart rails in there right now. So you have to be forced to park. Like an AAC, you can basically ride the train in and be dropped off right in front of the arena and go watch a game, go to any event, for $5 ride almost, or $2.50 or something like that. It's cheap. But, Jerry World, you have to pay $75 to $100.
Don't you guys
to
do
park.
that? You take your car to go see Cowboys games?
Uh,
I just take my Uber
Now,
helicopter.
Yeah.
I just land my
That's-
private jet and have the helicopter take me over the stadium. It's
has
in and
anyone
out.
seen anything in that stadium?
no, I haven't even taken the tour
you?
yet over there. Yeah.
No, I've only done Super Bowl interviews over there. I haven't been to any other event. They did pretty good food for the press. For the press for
AT&T
lunch.
Stadium, $75
I'm
park
like,
with
yeah.
food doesn't suck.
Hey, your money actually paid for my lunch there. And it was really damn good.
Well, right on. All right.
Well, yeah, but hey, did anyone notice what American Airlines Center is doing? They turned 2 of their parking lots into
Into
condos.
garages?
Oh yes,
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
that. Right. I saw that.
Yeah,
Well, in another
because of
parking
the
garage.
public transportation that's going there
Yeah.
now.
Because they don't need the parking.
They don't
They're
need the
not making the
parking
money in the
any-
parking. They
Yeah.
might as well sell it on some real estate.
That's the thing about the Jerry World was that they had to basically kick out and not really kick out, but demolish a bunch of people's homes after they paid them some money and stuff like that. Say, hey, we need more of this for parking. Here's the thing. They need to put public transportation, like a train or something in there. A train would be nice into there because you have the Texas Rangers and Six Flags
Well, it's
and the ballpark. And pretty soon, supposedly, MGM Grand's going to be coming in there also. I mean,
We-
you need to
we
have
have
something in
been-
there.
we have been fighting for 25 years with the city of Fort Worth to put a light rail system from Dallas to Fort Worth, which would go right through the middle of Arlington.
Yeah. You have the
Uh,
TRE.
You
Yeah.
have the TRE, but it
Once
goes
every 2
nowhere.
hours.
They closes at
9:30.
10:45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
9:30 is the
run.
9:37 is the last run out of
That's the
downtown
thing about
Fort Worth.
that's the thing that New York is great, and some of these cities up in New England and Northeast are great. Is their public transportation system will run till 6 a.m. some
Can you
nights.
imagine how much money both these cities would make running light rail from Dallas to Fort Worth through
Meaningful
Arlington?
light rail. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Full light rail. I mean,
Yeah.
that the amount of money that you would make with people going to Six Flags, people going to the ballpark in Arlington, people going to the Death Star.
And imagine
Um,
what that would do to Periscope piracy.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, just to tie it back to the main topic, I think that's
I'm-
totally.
Oh my gosh, we went off a tangent.
I just looked down. I was like, what? What are we talking about? Oh, how do we get on sports venue transportation?
I don't know. So we'll just next it.
All right, well, next it. We need to do a sports show.
Next!
We need to bring back half-ass sportscast. We
Yeah.
can talk about all that good stuff. Or did you ever see my company I started? What was
Which
it?
one?
HeroCopter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you a fan on that on Facebook?
Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Anyway,
It never came.
still working on it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure
not
you are.
I've got my best people on it.
Was that the Herocopter?
That's the
That's
if a
that's
car
your
breaks-
car breaks down.
Yeah, you go to like
the
your
helicopter
will fix you
throws
up
it
and
off the
fix
side of
it.
the-
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, FAA has some issues with that, but
Richard's got some great ideas.
now if I only had unlimited funding and no legal repercussions,
Yeah, I see absolute. Money can buy just about everything right up until you're landing a $4 million helicopter on top of somebody's Mercedes.
yeah. Well, if you looked at the okay, I'll stop because we're getting way next. This Gordon, take some ownership of this, man. Next the hell out of this.
He nexted it already. We just
Oh,
kept going.
We just steamrolled it. Thank you. The next are next. This is sad news. Rupert Murdoch's Sky TV in UK, they're firing about 10% of their production staff soon here, just from redundancies. And I think this is more automation over peopleization. So that sucks.
Huh.
But don't go work in the UK. Come work here in the great US of A, where
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
Okay.
probably no better, but that's this is real world repercussions of technology and minimization of labor and trying to take the people out of the human resources.
That's why I do what I do. 'cause you can't automate that. People don't want to see robots on stage doing Shakespeare. To be.
Damn, I almost put this in the lineup, but so there's a festival in Netherlands or Amsterdam called
Canada.
it was called Air, and it's a stage show done completely by drones. It's like no actors, no live people. It's just all drones, lighting done, on drones. Cameras are on drones. The drones are like little firecrackers and stuff like that. So
That would be kind of cool, though.
I mean, I'd watch it. They've got like a concept video on YouTube of like everybody like cheering for the drones, and it's like this family and this guy with his
I
kid
totally.
and his dad. It's like, oh, look at that, it's a drone. Oh, I love it.
I don't see that as
I don't know.
something viable for the roundabout
Yeah,
over in England, or
right. Yeah, coming soon to Casa Mañana in Fort Worth, Texas. It's drones.
Arts de la Rosa. Here we come.
Do you think drones are becoming too dangerous?
I think you're eating your
And-
mic
Oh.
There you go.
Do you think drones?
down some because you're just breathing
Okay.
right in it.
Do you
Can't
think?
hear you.
Do you think drones are coming up to the point of basically? I saw a picture. Somebody posted a picture on my Facebook of a drone in a live venue event inside an arena, flying over people's heads and stuff like that, but getting their shot, whatever. I think that's kind of scary, because there's tons of RF interference in that arena.
Oh,
all the
yeah,
wireless
what does
that thing
microphones
just
and stuff
spiral
like
out of
that,
control?
It's just
We've been-
right in
We've
somebody's
been
head.
flying those damn blimps in football
That's true.
stadiums and basketball stadiums.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for a Hindenburg T-shirt blimp. Oh, the humanity!
What's that, Dad?
So I was at a wedding yesterday, and there were all these people like trying to take pictures with their iPads and holding them up over their heads, like, "Oh, I can't get a good picture because there's so many people." I'm like, "I know, we should have brought a drone. Wouldn't that be great?" Just like this beautiful moment between groom and a bride. Do you take this one? Damn it, that's loud. So yes, I do think drones are getting a little bit crazy.
8-propeller drone.
Yeah. 3-foot prop wingspan. It's so beautiful.
That's it. What I do a lot on YouTube.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to get. I'm on the same tangent.
No,
here.
my kids are having apparently a wrestling match
Oh, I
upstairs.
didn't hear
so-
that. I've got my ears in.
Huh?
Huh?
What?
So, I do a lot of stuff on YouTube, and there's this
Yeah.
one company that
Your
I
search
follow.
history is awful.
Yeah, it's all recreational vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Where's Scott retiring in an RV?
Down by the river.
Anyways, one of the companies was using drones to fly over their inventory of
Of RVs?
RVs.
Okay.
What a great idea!
Well, there's
I love
real
this.
estate people are doing that for like bigger homes. They're using drones for property tours.
Yeah.
That's
Not
why
awful.
this whole drone thing has to be fixed. And park rangers, please quit tasing people for using a
No.
drone. in a-
So yeah, my friend was
Yeah.
my friend was in Hawaii when that he was in Hawaii. He thought about he took his drone and he was going to fly it out there and stuff like that.
Send in
And he's like,
the
"Nah, I'm
drone."
not going to fly it in this national park."
They're
And then
already
he read the newspaper the next day of just like the guy getting tased for flying a drone. in a
for
national
flying a
park.
drone over a
Seriously.
volcano.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I mean, if the thing falls in, it's gonna melt.
No, it's a GoPro. It might survive.
All right, Jordan. Your homework this weekend is you need to make a drone talk drop for us.
Oh,
you need
my-
to invent something so every time invariably we will get on drone talk for some reason. This is a show tech show, but apparently we just love the hell out of drones.
It's
So
gonna take like 2-minute recording of an 8-fan drone.
we'll call it Show Tech Show Drones On. But yeah, so apparently the FCC or I always forget which one, FAA this week they did say that they are planning on relaxing the line of sight rule
Yeah. I saw
for
that.
drone operations, and so that's possibly coming. It'll probably be like a
They
12 to
froze on.
18 month ordeal to get that changed because federal law being what it is. But apparently Amazon has already said, "Screw you guys! That's too little, too late. We're taking our drones out of country for R&D."
Yeah.
So, but it's
Huh.
interesting that they
It's,
came out hard and fast against all these rules, like, "Oh no, drones! You gotta have laws and licenses and blah blah blah." And now they're like, "Well, never mind, because people are mad." FAA, you're a bunch of pussies. Awful.
The thing about it is that the
Helicopter.
line of sight drones are more dangerous than the drones
ones
that
that
fly
have
on their own.
sensors.
Yeah,
And, yeah. Well, that's one of the things they said was there's probably ways that you can make non-line of sight not be such a big deal, like having your drones have enough sensors on them to where you have telepresence and you can see what's happening. Also have automated corrective sensors on. So, am I cutting out again?
Yep.
Yeah, turn your butt that way.
Turn my ass this way. All right. So anyway, whoa.
You got your antenna.
He's a married
shoved
man.
up your
Dongles,
underwear.
He's a married man, Scott.
So anyway, and if so, they were
I'm
saying
in theater. It's okay.
if drones had some sort of collision avoidance technology built into them, so they would know to avoid other aircraft and things. And no, it's not okay. But that's enough of drone talk for today.
Airlines call that the bitch.
You're a bitch. Are you a bottom?
Grabbing your co-pilot's walkie-talkie.
No, the airline pilots, if like they're it's a traffic avoidance system.
Oh, because the
TCOS.
pull up.
Traffic collision.
Well, this would be like
Yeah.
a Google self-driving car thing where it actually steers the drone out of harm's way,
Oh,
not
okay.
just bitches at you about it. Because I'm sure the 14-year-old will be like, "Who cares?"
Pull up. No. Pull out.
Whoa, that's wildly inappropriate. Let's just insert an awkward pause here.
And go.
Oh God. Okay, and next. Oh, more awkward pause. Okay. This is so off the rails. Let's see. What else did I have?
Usually,
See what happens when I show up late?
usually Scott's off the
Yeah.
rails, but I don't know today.
we were so
It's
clean
funny.
cut before you showed up, and now it's all
Yeah.
corrupt and
They
awful.
locked the door on me.
We locked him out and everything, but he still showed up.
Mhm.
Cat came back. So, Omaha World Herald, cool article this week online. It was just, I like these little stories every once in a while. I find them in my Google searches, just people doing behind the scenes life stories. Just kind of, this is just a story kind of following around a rigger, setting up convention concerts and things like that. Convention concerts, things like that. And good little video about it. But that's the Omaha World Herald. I don't know if you got the link there, Jordan, for
Yeah.
it. But there's a little video embedded in the link, just kind of showing what all goes into it for the layperson, because a lot of them don't realize all the magic that happens to get all the hardware in place and all the man hours and all the extensive planning and logistical support that's required. One little takeaway I thought on the article was kind of cool. The man was just saying how, planning for a concert will start happening months in advance. And man, that just made me nostalgic for the hopes that would ever happen. It seems like more and more this industry, as people who aren't production professionals get into the role of event planning and production ordering, the client, they just have no reasonable expectation of what it requires to do these things. And it's just like, oh, yeah, we can just do that now. We can just make this up as we go, right? It's kind of like Harvin was talking about last week, the client coming in at the last minute and just, you know what, I actually don't like this. Let's go ahead and just move this around. Let's just change this up. Just no idea what kind of impact that has on resources and manpower and hours and everything. They just expect it to happen because, silver spoon, right? So, but anyway, this is a good article. I like it when the media kind of illuminates our people, right? Our struggle,
Mhm.
right? It's cool. So, check that out. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our next news segment because I can. So, I'll next you. What do you guys think? You want to take a look at the job board?
What's on it?
Who wants a job? Jobs and careers and
You
stuff?
know, everybody, we all want jobs.
Jobs.
I applied for one.
For ad jobs?
A job.
Yeah.
A job.
Illegitimate?
Yeah.
In England, really? That might actually be on here.
Artistic director.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool. Would you go work in England?
Yeah.
That'd be rad. We'd have to do the show over undersea fiber, but
It would be cool.
the show must go on, as we discussed last week, episode 111, youtube.com.
Did we?
Yeah, that was the whole topic. So let me start off with my old...
No, we made it to 11 shows.
I know, this is going to be a dozen. You can bring the music up a little bit, dude. I like the backbeat, man. It's part of my jam. So Indeed.com, this is my go-to for things. San Francisco 49ers, the football club out in California. They're actually hiring a full-time production tech for what they call FNS. This is 49er Studios. It's a production intern. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually a paid internship with the 49ers doing production things, a lot of PA stuff, a lot of
Wait, it's paid?
editorial stuff. Yeah, paid internship.
Wow.
Working for the NFL. in San Francisco. I mean, it's internship paid, so but it's one of those things like send your salary requirements. And I have a feeling if you send an actual salary requirement, they're like, no. But at least it's not trying to rep itself as unpaid or experiential based. So sounds pretty legit if you're in the Silicon Valley area looking for a football gig.
Even if you're not in the Silicon Valley area,
Yeah, go to
might wanna
California.
move there.
Good sushi.
Yeah.
Let's see. Playbill.com jobs. Blue Man Group in the Vegas production outfit. They're hiring a part-time automation and rigging technician. That's a cool show. We've talked about Blue Man Group in the past, haven't
It's
we?
in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. I actually saw the Boston show live. That was my first experience with Blue Man. Freaking awesome. I mean, really small little venue, but a lot of really cool stuff going on with it. I think that would be some cool production experience to be a part of. Anyway, and obviously it's a big name. They're kind of a staple in Vegas
What are they
entertainment.
hiring?
This is a part-time
Automation
automation and
rigging.
rigging tech. So, you know, if you know anything about rigging or everything, Scott?
Scott knows rigging.
You know things.
I do. I think Scott Fisher's in charge of that. So, go on
Actually,
out.
yeah, that's,
Great
who you're-
person
that's
to-
the dude you're reporting to, I believe. So,
Great person to learn from.
good guy. Good dude. Mandy.com. Do you guys know Mandy.com? This is something I've been looking at for a while.
Yeah.
MANDY.com. I think I kind of brush over this whenever I talk about it, but that was one of my first production job sites I found through a Google search or something like that. They've got a position listed in Asheville, North Carolina. Kind of a cool one. This is a local producer. He's seeking to find a full-time crew to work on a new local tourism TV show he's doing. So basically just hitting bars and restaurants and just different venues and talking about them. I'm thinking this is that opportunity for a show like Three Sheets I'm always talking about, where it's your
Yeah.
job to just go out and drink all night and film it.
Oh,
Like, I'm sure that's what this guy's got in mind. This is like a local Three Sheets. So check them out on Mandy.com if you're in the Asheville, North Carolina area, beautiful part of the country, if you want to be in that area. And then ProductionHub.com. I think it's a more common staple in our ilk. The Mayo Performing Arts Center in New Jersey. They've got a new position, a theater production manager. I think as their outfit is growing and their seasons are getting more complex, they're hiring a new position. So it doesn't sound like this is somebody who got frustrated and quit. This is something they're expanding their in-house staff. So if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, check out the Mayo Performing Arts Center. I'm probably saying that incorrectly, showing how stupid I am. But, laugh with me. And then lastly, I'll finish up with offstagejobs.com. The Newark Academy, this is New Jersey.
Yes,
They're hiring a full-time technical director and teacher.
I'm on my way.
Are you? Well, this is, I don't think you're actually qualified for this one because in addition to maintaining the auditorium and the Black Box Theaters there on the campus, you are also to teach middle school students tech theater 1 hour a day for each week. And I know you've got that 50-foot rule, so I don't know if they could do some sort of remote learning thing.
That's not legal in New Jersey.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, he's a very good deal.
Nothing is.
Sit down, children. But so kind of neat. The topic of tonight's show is mentoring. So that's a good, I thought, position to kind of get, do the technical side, do your job, do your show tech thing, but then it also be passing along to future generations, teaching kids, the right way to do things. And there's also, if you've had any musical background, you'll also be doing some music theory classes. So they kind of sound like that was an optional add-on, but there you go. So that's our look around the jobs that could be yours in the industry this week. Tune in for something. We will do that every week. If you tune in here on the Show Tech Show, it's just a little value add we like to do for our audience. Make sure that you guys are happy with what you do and gainfully employed as you're doing it. And with that, let's move on to the main topic. Let's talk about mentoring, guys. Mentoring, mentorship, Mentos. When was the first time you popped a breath mint and climbed through the back of somebody else's car in traffic?
What?
Wait, I don't understand. What are we talking about? That's not mentoring.
I love acting!
Yes, exactly.
I love acting!
We should loop that. Just keep it coming.
God, I hate the.
Who are your mentors? I wanted to start with, like, who would you credit as myself
Scott.
aside? I know I've kind of taught you guys everything you know, but in addition to myself, that's true, Scott. Yeah, you've definitely. I think you are probably the person who taught me the most about lighting, and
Same here.
because I'm clearly not a lighting guy, but what I know, it's been vetted by you, and I definitely have seen Jackass over here earn his trial by fire,
Yeah.
or at least 750 watt lamp.
That's how I got my name.
Jackass. You might know him from the show.
My mentors were not you and
What?
not you.
I know I'm mentoring you right now about how to make fine internet television.
No,
No.
I really do put a lot of what I learned on Paul Daum from the University of Akron. He was
Yeah.
my first mentor, but as well when I went to the Ohio Ballet, I worked under Tom Skelton, and he is the man that taught me more about everything. Sorry, guys.
Chat room?
Chat room's a little bit boisterous today.
Oh wow!
Feisty.
Thank you, guest 28982.
So Tom Skelton was my biggest mentor. I think he's the one that taught me the most. Unfortunately for me, all my mentors are dead.
Lighting accidents?
That
Dead guy joke. Funny, Rich.
felt.
No, that's I mean, obviously they've endowed you with their knowledge, so they're living on in you. Part of them
Yeah.
lives in you.
He lives in you.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Can we
it's,
composite in the Lion King back here?
It's one of those things where like Tom Skelton was huge in the lighting industry. There's actually a gel color in Roscoe called Skelton Sangria,
Oh,
which is
awesome.
named after him. He's the one person that when I do a good show, I sit back and say, I wish you could have seen this because I didn't learn anything until I was under him. You know, him and Paul really worked hard in the whole mentoring aspect. They both got me involved in USITT, which I still to this day do stuff with. So I think mentoring's incredibly important.
Yeah, because you can take a class and learn these things, and you can read textbooks and whatever, but there's nothing like that hands-on teaching that. I mean, that's the way these vocational trades really need to be passed on from generation to generation. There needs to be that apprenticeship. There needs to be that, not only understanding the theory and the technology and stuff, but really just seeing it work and that experience that a million textbooks could never fill up. Yeah, so I'd agree with that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
I think a textbook can teach you so much. It can teach you the numbers. It can teach you the silly things like Kelvin temperature and stuff like that. But practical use of knowing what color works with what color doesn't happen until you start mentoring under somebody.
You have to develop that eye.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, really with anything, not just lighting here, but I mean, if you're an audio guy, you have to, get that, understand the presence of audio in a way that I don't know how you would even try to study that in a technical educational course. But I mean, yeah, it just takes experience, takes hands-on.
If you look at the lighting that I do now, you can tell, like Tom Skelton was big ballet, a lot of dancing, a lot of different stuff. He did do theater. He did do theater a lot. Did theater. I helped him at the Cleveland Playhouse. By the way, congratulations, Cleveland Playhouse, on your Tony Award.
Plug.
That was one of the first professional houses I got to work in. So congratulations, guys. You earned it.
Yep.
You earned it about 20 years too late, though.
You bastards.
No.
Yeah.
Tony.
So that's my take on mentors. What about you? Well, you grew up in the video world.
Well, I never really grew up because you're only as old as you act. But
Really?
I would one of the guys I credit with a lot of the things I learned in my hotel tech days. He kind of I think gave me the tools I need to be more on the producer side of things
Mm-hmm.
as far as working with clients and for understanding the concept that things can be, you can have excellence, you can have bulletproof systems, and you can have those standards that are super high. Taught me things like under promise, over deliver. Just things that will literally make you the best, and it's very systematic. And you may not always get that. And I think a lot of my experience after that was more shoestring budget and trying to make things work and mom and pop kind of situations and productions, which probably gave me good balance, I like to think. But I'll credit that guy, Troy, who I worked with at the company I was working for in the hotels. He really showed me that you can run a really tight ship, and he's gone on to work. I think he's basically a super genius military contractor guy now, teaching our SOCOM people how to set up hacker networks and stuff like that. But so he's smart as a whip. But he was great at client interaction, and he always presented an air of confidence in everything he did. And I mean, there were times even as a junior tech, like I don't think he understood video signal path and things like that as much as I did, just because that's kind of my geek culture. I know that. But still, he was always the clear leader on a show, and people would still look to him for advice and guidance, and he just had a presence from his confidence, and the clients knew it, his technicians knew it, and it was really a pleasure kind of learning that standard of excellence from him.
Yeah.
Because as I worked for the same company, moving on in years, it was clear that he was kind of a rarity, and he didn't really stay there long. And there were a lot of great people in that company, but I think his brand of quality was something kind of special, and it was really neat to kind of experience that. And I've always tried to tie that into anything I make, when I have the option to. That's at least where I start when I'm doing production planning. Is like, well, here's the best. Like, here's how we make sure that failure is not an option. Everything that's mission critical will go without question. We've got redundancies. Everything is just military quality basically, and then. You make compromises going off that to the degree to which you're comfortable.
Yeah.
But if it's left up to me, whenever it's something that I've got top to bottom control over, it materializes on spec. And I'm one of those guys. Like one of my mantras is always I don't like plans. I like goals, because I think as soon as you start making plans, God will find a way to kind of oh really, you think you've got it all figured out, huh, stupid? Well, guess what? That just happened, and so your plans, you can make all the plans you want, but you've got to be more able to make contingency plans and improvise and come away. So I'm not a big plan guy, but there's if you understand enough about what you're doing, and you understand the concept that you've got to be ready for things to change, then you can execute, and your clients will appreciate it. So that's my mentor. That's my mentor story. Jordan, you want to take one of these?
Yeah.
I'm typing in the chat room.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
funny.
Somebody's got to talk to these people.
Yeah. I gotta keep
Lord
you
knows
busy.
the talent doesn't. Sorry,
The
guys.
talent can type. So, now, yeah, my mentor basically, I had a mentor, and he, started when I was like 15 years old, and basically like, pulling cable, starting that way. I mean, just, do the minute things, like I helped out with a concert and I started learning, but I just like, I don't know what to do, but I feel like I want to be in this industry. I want to be in this TV production industry. And so I talked with a guy and got him into like, he got me into like helping out at a local church, a local house of worship. Just basically, first off, I was following behind a handheld camera guy.
Were you
and
gripping cable, or were you just walking around?
I was gripping cable. I was the utility. I would follow the camera guy with the cable, make sure the cable, he had enough slack and he didn't like grab up the cable and just yank like this every time.
So you weren't a
And-
drapist?
I wasn't the drapist like Harvin. Because we all know who Harvin's.
Well, he's now an
Nicholas.
experienced drapist.
Yeah,
Who, Harvin?
he's a master drapist.
Now, the key with Harvin is every time you describe his role, you have to precede it with an adjective that ends in D. That that way he,
Is that how that works?
yeah. So he's an experienced drapist.
Drapist.
Experienced drapist.
Drapist.
Just sounds like you're over accenting the D.
Rapist.
He's actually, yeah. See, it's kind of a joke. Rape jokes
So-
on the Lone
Rape?
Star. Awful. Harvin, tell us more about your mentor.
Well,
Yeah.
Harvin started all this, so
Harvin's in chat. That's why
Yeah,
that's why we're bringing up the drapist
and
jokes
it's
right
like
now,
that's
guys.
if I start cracking up when I talk about
Also, we
mentorship, I
have
just-
no professionality whatsoever. So to all of our mentors, we would like to profoundly apologize. on the
Yeah.
Lone Star.
It's like
Now-
I'm gonna talk about my mentor. And
Yeah,
all of a
tell us-
sudden
tell
I
us
look
about-
at chat and then just like say something. I'm just like,
Yeah. It's kind of hard to keep it straight.
no, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll go back to my mentorship. As I'm gonna black out my screen so I can't see the chat.
there you go.
That's one way to do it. So my mentor basically this started me and just like basically, 15 volunteering, helping out, kind of not making money, just learning experience.
Unpaid
and
internship.
unpaid internship, exactly.
Should have worked
Just,
for the 49ers.
what?
I said you should have worked for the 49ers because they have a paid internship. That we
It's
covered
way
in-
over your head.
in our
Don't
job
worry
board.
about it. Carry on. Carry on.
Really, dude? That was like the top listing on the job
carry
board.
on.
Like we just did that segment
I know. I know this the job thing. I just don't get like.
because it's.
Sorry.
Wow! Don't worry about it, bro. Just keep rolling that story out for us.
Oh
No,
my
I derailed Jordan.
gosh.
Sorry, man.
I just totally just caught me off guard. So, started there pulling cables, whatever, and then you get to the point of your life that, like, oh well, let's get on this camera. Mostly it's always usually your starting camera is the easiest camera, which is sometimes the high and wide. Because you don't have to do that much, and you're not like the tight shot type fellow where you're
What is the purpose of that camera op?
what the high and wide.
High wide? Yeah, that's pretty much just stand there and make sure the camera doesn't catch on fire.
It can provide small little zooms, but
Oh,
other
that's
than that,
true. Okay.
you're learning the basics. And honestly, when I was doing that camera, when I wasn't on, when I didn't have tail light on, I'm practicing my zooms, my focus, and all these different other shots.
This
Because
kid's got
since
moxie.
they only take you when you like they want an audience reaction, a high and wide. Other than that, you're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like even one time during a concert, it's like they're not taking me, so I'm just gonna do like snap zooms. One time with a crank zoom because I had a crank zoom, which is very funny when you like are in a high wide shot up in a balcony where people are dancing and stuff like that. So the balcony is shaking like this, and you hear the director say, "Slow zoom 6," and you have a crank, a little sports crank zoom, and you're like, "Slow zoom? What?" So you're doing a slow zoom, but it's like. It's like you don't have like a servo zoom where it's all done electronically. It's like a crank one. I'm doing like.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not for sports, but start myself off doing camera, and then going to college where I learned some stuff. Learn quite a bit of information there, and
Things and such.
starting an internship and learning more, and then mostly getting hands on. I think that's where I learn the quickest way I learn is basically being hands on. Actually, you can teach me stuff, you can tell me stuff. But sometimes that goes in one ear and out the other. If the more I get hands-on, the more visual I see the thing getting done, it's the more I recept it.
Yeah.
In my head, the more I learn.
Well, it's
from
like
it.
we were talking with Scott. I mean, that's very true. This is a gig. This is an industry, I believe, that you need to have hands-on experience. You need to have experiential learning. You can't. I mean, the textbook stuff is cool, but it's almost like party trivia. The
Yeah.
back-end science and this stuff. I mean, maybe after you've been doing it for 20 years, it's useful to go back and then learn the academics behind it and say like, oh, okay, that's the principle of that. No, okay, maybe that'll help you think in new creative directions moving forward to
Yeah.
understand that. It's not important, but on your day-to-day work, I would not want to put somebody in the field who had 10 years of academic experience and no real-life experience. Like if they had never done hands-on or worked with a professional, but they had aced all of their AP production classes. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, y'all have met Kyle, right?
Yeah.
Have you met
Yeah.
Kyle?
I worked with him. Yeah.
He's gonna be on the show here.
Yeah, Kyle, what the heck? Get in here.
He'll be on the show
When?
anytime. Just
Well, we'll have to check our
Pick a
schedule. How about meow?
right.
I'm not letting him on the show.
You're
But
free.
he mentored under me for what? Since about 2008.
Well, that leads into my other question. Some of your opportunities to mentor, paying it forward.
Like we've been mentored, but who have we mentored?
yes.
Well, who have you mentored? Next.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never
Okay.
I've never worked with like a long-term person.
So
That's
you don't-
actually
you
one
don't-
of my
you
gripes
don't-
is like I rarely get staff. Like
You-
I don't have
yeah.
anybody. I
You don't have
love
anybody
to do
underneath
that.
you.
I hate being in a position where I'm the only person who knows how stuff works, and if I get hit by a bus, the show does not go on, like everything's over, I think it's critical that you have somebody, even if it's not their job to know everything you do,
Uh-huh.
to teach them everything you do.
Do
And
you think you have mentored some of like us during like the Auction Network days and stuff like that?
I would
Um,
never take credit for you guys.
Well,
Um,
like for people like
I think we all share
Harvin.
knowledge. I mean, I think we all just kind of share our knowledge of things, and we kind of interface. But I don't really consider that mentorship.
Uh-huh.
Like mentorship, I would consider more one-on-one, kind of more intensive. Come in every day and learn a little bit about more of this. I think working together, we, especially in our environments, we would always flex into other roles and different specialties.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more chaotic than one-to-one mentoring and specific job roles and things like that. So that's, I mean, yeah, like I've tried to impart things on you guys, the nerd side of things, and I know I've learned things from you guys, like Scott on lighting and Jordan on camera work and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Well, not
even
camera work.
even in the early days of like, well, I mean,
you kind of taught me the image pros, like Folsoms and some other stuff, like production design, like with the small setups and everything. Like I didn't know that much jack about image pros until like I started working with you. Like you can come in and teach me how to do it. I'm like,
the Barco
"Oh."
Image Pro is an interesting beast.
Yeah.
Really powerful, awesome piece of technology. It's an anything in, anything out kind of video converter, which is a great last line between whatever's happening and your projector, because you can make anything come out. Like no matter what you put in, something
Yeah.
different will come out in a different
mean,
format, different standard,
It's a
different connection.
must-have on a production.
Um,
You at least have one image pro.
As far as I'm aware, they do have a manual, and I've got a copy of it on my cell phone, and I always have it readily available.
Mhm.
But it's impossible to understand how that device works from reading words.
Yeah.
You have to just go through the
Get in there,
menus
Put hands
times
on
a
it.
million
figure it out.
hours, and then eventually you'll hit that.
Kind of like the
'Cause-
analog way.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things are voodoo. I don't know. Like there is no sensical operation to them.
It
But
took me 6 months to figure that out. Don't even try to read the book. It's-
dude, I mean, the answer is yes, it can do it. As for how, you'll need to consult a psychic priest and do a Native American ritual and sacrifice some virgins, and then there's a sub menu for that. I don't remember exactly.
So Harvin's got to be sacrificed.
Yes. And Harvin's cool. Harvin kind of came to us from like the non-production world and kind of hit the ground running, and he picked up stuff like a whip. Like he was one of those like good work ethic guys, and he would just jump in on stuff and learn it as he goes, and he's got a lot of enthusiasm about it.
Does he?
Every time I worked with him, I was always impressed with his ability to not be a useless piece of crap, which I guess maybe my standards are too low, but because a lot of guys are just kind of like, yeah, my dad makes me do this job. I don't really care. I'm just gonna sit here and smoke a cigarette.
I always felt better taking coal than
And Harvin,
Harvin.
yeah,
God.
thanks to Texas's lax child labor laws, sometimes the bosses suck.
Oh my gosh.
It was, yeah, that was.
I should say, if you're watching this live, or even if you're not, make a plan to Sundays at 8. Join us on FrontierTelevision.com and join us in the chat room. It's apparently hilarious. It adds a whole other dimension to this. It really just derails the YouTube experience. Sorry.
Sorry.
But we're in it for the live show, folks. And tips and tricks. What are some challenges in mentoring? What's the hard part? Dealing with Scott's
Okay,
attitude.
like I said, Kyle came to me in about 2008. It's 2015 now. So,
As
so
we
that's
established
almost-
earlier in the show.
guys, that's almost like college. And he's ready. He's ready to move on and do stuff on his own. But I think that's the hardest part is knowing
Letting
as a
the little
mentor
bird fly.
when to go. You shouldn't be the one sitting down there taping cables anymore.
Yeah.
And
You got this. Go out.
and I mean it's even harder when you're in the same area and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, holy crap, he's taking jobs for me now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've seen that.
that's I think that's the hard part
Yeah.
is that going to stop me from doing it again? I don't know the answer to that yet.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to open up a school of lighting and give away
Yeah.
all your best secrets, but
And that's I think that's the hardest part right now with Kyle and I, is he's to the point of taking work from me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
well, let's get him on the Showtech show because he'll never work again.
No.
So we'll tell some war stories about that time
Yeah,
he got stuck in a light fixture.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
What are you doing up there?
So that's
that's
what
a
I
good
think
point,
is
though, yeah.
the toughest part with me.
Yeah, it's the same way with me also. When
Yeah,
I,
if
I'm
you,
teaching, when I'm teaching, new people, maybe jib or something like that, camera. It's like, hey, I'm teaching these people to do camera or jib, but then are they going to be able? Are they going to come and take these other freelance jobs away from me, which is income in my pocket? But I don't want to be like the jerk that doesn't teach people. It's like, no, I'm not going to teach them. It's like, you want others to learn, but you don't want others to come back and just like.
Yeah, you don't
screw
necessarily
over
be
in
out
the
on the
end.
street because they'll work cheaper than you, and now they have all your secret sauce.
Yeah,
But-
I mean that's
Yeah, I mean,
it's not easy. It's not
No,
easy.
It's not. It's hard to. It's a hard decision to make.
but
It's something.
if you, I don't know, if you enter into it altruistically and you've got a good working relationship with people like that, it might open up opportunities to where he gets clued into a gig that's too big for one man, and he gets you hired into that because, you're now colleagues versus, mentor and mentee, or
Yeah.
mento. I don't know, but
and it's
in a perfect world, we don't have such a lack of jobs out there that we can't all work. I know that's often the case as budgets get smaller and people, but I think as an industry, that's kind of on us to go out there and promote our value to marketers and event coordinators and there's work out there to be done. Just because people don't realize it and are settling for less, that's maybe that's what we need to be doing in our time of not working is showing people how awful what they do is without us. Shaming the clients into using us. I don't know, but it's a big city. I mean, Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, there's a lot of stuff going on. Some parts of the country, I can see that being very true. There's like limited amount of work. But I mean, then again, we travel, we get around. You're willing to go to UK, man. So
I think it's for us in the theater area, it's especially here in the DFW area, it's totally different because 3/4 of the companies in this town are community theaters and don't pay.
Yeah.
Those are the jobs I don't care about.
Yeah.
The 4 theaters in town that do pay, there's only like 4 of them. So getting in there and getting the paychecks,
cutthroat.
it's
eat
a
dog.
cutthroat. We got 30 lighting designers in town, and there's 4 theaters that pay.
It's a feast or famine attitude. It's like
Yeah.
You
when
know,
it rains,
it's
it
like-
pours.
yeah,
when
when
it
it rains,
doesn't-
it pours. But
It's a
the
Texas
thing
drought.
is that you still have to, you want
and that's where- Once again, we come back to the point of that's where it's hard because Kyle is my friend, and I don't want to hurt him. But at the same token, I'm fighting against him to survive, to pay my bills. This is how I pay my
Yeah.
bills.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, all you can stand on is your superiority in what you do, and surely you can't. No matter, I mean,
See, the minute that you said that, I just bowed up. It was like, yeah,
Batman.
that's right, people.
But I mean, honestly, you can't really impart a lifetime's worth of experience onto somebody else. You can give him a lot of good information, and yeah, maybe enough to take that job from you, but he'll never be you.
His,
And if he is, you should stop being a lighting designer and you should start being a teacher.
it's
Because if you're that good at teaching to where you
Or-
can give away everything you know in a matter of
Or you bring
months,
them under your umbrella and have them work for you.
buy him
and you
out,
take a
yes.
percentage cut, stuff like that.
franchise it.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Some sort of agreement. Or I propose a system where when you have an apprentice as the mentor, Once you have imparted all of your knowledge, you have a fight to the death, and whoever survives is worthy of carrying on the experience. So there you go. Problem solved. See, I'm a problem solver, people. I see these things and I just adapt and overcome. So get your invite him to a duel, a la Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, and bow up to him. He'll back down.
You know, you're right. There is a difference between his lighting and my lighting.
And that's true too. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you get a feeling for someone who's just going to copy everything you do and not put any of their own passion or intelligence into it, maybe you want to stop mentoring that guy. But clearly that wasn't the case with Kyle. I mean, you have a good thing working with him, and you're happy to impart knowledge. So I have kind of a karma golden rule kind of thing that, if you do what's right, it'll work out for you. You don't have to be so
You can
wildly
mentor
desperate.
Harvin.
It's a
He can mentor me. He used to be a bartender.
yeah.
Huh?
Harvin
Little
can
quid
teach us
pro
how
quo?
to make drinks.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So when you started
for that
volunteering,
Chat
did
message.
you, or when you started mentoring, did you volunteer to mentor somebody, or were you voluntold?
No,
So you were forced into it.
it just kind of happened.
What was your first?
Actually, okay, here's the thing. Kyle was the lighting director at a church that I went to go work at. He moved to Maryland.
Those are always bad.
I took over as the lighting director. He came back. That was how he kind of tootled under me.
Toodle that terminal?
Tootled.
Turtle.
Tutelage.
Who toodled in here?
Tutelage is a great word.
Yeah. Not a great word. It is an
It's a
actual
great
word, so we'll give you credit for that. That's a
So,
triple word score.
He
too, so
came
it's a
in
head to
underneath me and well, he came to me and said, "I want to learn." I'm not gonna say no to somebody.
Really?
I guess I'm not. I never have.
Yeah. Well, that's good of you.
That could be a problem. So if I say yes, I'm going to light your show, you better double check with me in about 3 weeks. Because usually I double, triple book and can't do stuff.
well, that's yeah.
Never say no.
1 part Guinness, 1 part Jameson.
Repeat as needed. That's
Harvard, you're a
that's,
master.
That's her. Yeah. That's her.
That's a bartender for
That's a
me.
bartender for you.
Irish bartender.
He's gonna be like the.
You want whiskey or beer? Can I have a mojito? Get the hell out.
He's gonna own the bar, and the bar's gonna be like, oh well, what type of drinks do you have here? It's like we only serve Guinness and Jameson.
But I want to
Almost like that SNL cheeseburger, Coke, but Pepsi.
Oh, 70s SNL reference. So relevant and up to the date here on the Showtech show.
So what about the rest of you? I talked enough about Kyle.
I was like, well,
You going to turn down a mentor? What are they called when they're mentoring under you?
Apprentice.
Are you going to find an apprentice? Obi-Wan?
well, I do have some. I do train people at one of my employment places that I work at.
So
Are you forced to?
Yeah.
See, there's the difference. You're not going to be a good mentor if you're being forced to do it.
maybe, like I said though, the place
I'm
I work,
forced
I would
to work with you, and I hate every minute of it.
I would love to have somebody to mentor.
Cole!
Oh my gosh, he's here.
Oh.
I would love to be able to mentor people just from the point of view is, what if I want to have a sick day?
What?
I'd at least like to have somebody who's at 50% knowledgeable of what I do.
Yeah.
So, I'm
know,
willing to
I-
volunteer.
I do train people up for different positions and everything, and it. So I do have people underneath me that are learning the business, learning the camera,
People
learning
underneath
the
Are they hot?
No.
I was so proud of myself. I made it so long, all the people underneath me jokes that I passed up on. But
I was thinking the
Jordan
same thing.
starts talking. I just
I was
have to
thinking.
derail him.
I was thinking the same thing. Also, I almost said something, but I kind of bit my lip so that it wouldn't be made on YouTube.
So pro. Yep.
So there you go.
There
Right
you
on
go.
my back.
Pat on the back.
So yeah, it sometimes like I yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm sort of okay. I'm halfway at the point of okay with training people. It's just, what Scott said. It's just like my biggest worry is, just to like they
Having
do
to
take
compete with
jobs
them?
away. They do take jobs away.
Good
But you're gonna have that in the business no matter what. You're gonna have tons of people just taking jobs underneath you.
Well,
and
let me clarify on that point too, because there's a difference, I believe, between mentoring and training. So your job assignment is probably to train somebody. There's a difference between showing people where the lens wipes are stored and teaching people shot composition.
Push
and,
here, the jib goes up. Push here, the jib goes down.
Yeah, don't hit the old lady in the head. Boom, you're done. All right, I'm on break.
I got to go.
That's all the company can make you do as far as a job assignment. Mentorship is really a more personal, one-on-one. I would mentor my son in how to do what I do. I wouldn't mentor somebody for $5 an hour. I wouldn't go work at a community college and mentor children. I would teach them. Unless somebody showed promise and I wanted to take them under my tutelage.
Mentoring's a pain in the ass.
It can be. If you're doing it right, it's not an easy thing. It's a commitment. It's a time commitment. It's a time suck. But it's a good investment of time, It can be, at least. But it's your choice. No one can make you give up the goods. Your body, your decision. And by body, I mean brain. Let's talk about future show topics, folks. I think we've mentored out. Unless anybody else has anything they want to mentor. Mentos.
No, I think we're done. I think we're done.
And scene. What do we want to? What are some future show ideas? Because we need to keep this gravy train rolling. We're 12 episodes deep on Showtech Show this season. Very proud of 12 weeks in a row doing this with you gentlemen.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
12 weeks. Wow, that's
Three months of
that's
our lives tied up
amazing.
in this crazy endeavor.
That's amazing.
So what are we talking about in the future?
I think there's some
Drones, obviously.
yeah,
Drone week.
Every week we have to talk about drones, no matter what.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
No.
It
Are
just
you-
keeps sneaking
Are
back
you
into
two,
our.
really into these drones?
I'm not. I sorta. They're cool, but I don't know or care about anything.
I don't even own one. That's the biggest story that you hear every freaking week is drones this, drones that, drones, because it's a hot topic right now.
I
in the
really
world.
don't know where you guys are looking up news. I
In abnews.com,
Twitter.
TV
look at
technology.com,
news and see
Twitter.
stuff about Baltimore and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
not-
in fact, Baltimore is probably
There's
flying
a
drones.
lot of
over
drone tie-ins in Baltimore, actually. Drone lives matter.
Oh, okay. So
Institutional racism jokes on the low.
here's a chat room discussion right now.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
mentioned it. How about the price of production?
Price of production. I like that.
That's a different production.
Sure, you
costs
can
from
put on a
small,
good
medium,
show,
and
but
large.
what are you sacrificing?
Yeah,
No, you're
like-
talking about falling production costs, I'm assuming? Elaborate.
Falling,
Yeah.
rising.
Production costs?
Production
Yeah,
costs
so
are rising
not-
like a bitch.
Not going to me.
Yeah.
Tell me. Okay,
How
well,
tech stuff has changed
It's
since
not
y'all started.
coming to you. What it is insurance costs.
oh yeah.
For
Well,
a
that's-
million and a half
Yeah.
in coverage, like what I used to get, I used to pay $250 for a weekend. Now I went and got insurance the other day. It's almost $700
Jeez.
for $2 million coverage. $700. And this is just a rise in
Well,
the past.
Because technology costs continue to come down.
No, because we've got a bunch of Democrats in office who want to give insurance company money. That's what it is. It's just about money.
Oh, okay.
It's about government mandating the fact and look at 2 years ago at the Dallas Convention Center, you could do a show you only had to carry $1 million in coverage. Now you have to carry $2 million in coverage. It's governments jacking up the prices to make money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm making notes here. This is good
Are
stuff.
you?
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Please
I like
don't
that.
get me.
Regulations.
yeah, I know. Wow. If you want to get Scott railing on something,
Don't
let's
get
just
me,
talk about.
Don't get me started. I'm all about regulating certain things for safety, but Oh.
Well,
is some
I think
good
your wallet can be a
topics, 'cause
dangerous thing if
I
it's
can
allowed
feel
to
like
have
these
too
can
much
be-
money in it.
These could be like 35-minute discussions here.
Yeah.
Good.
I
These
Well,
mean,
are-
that's
these
the
are good main
idea, right?
topics.
So what else we got? What else? Keep it coming, chat room. Yeah, I'm going to
You
call
know-
you chat room, you faceless.
Drones.
Yes, you drones. Seriously, I want a drones jingle, dude. You got to make that happen.
I'll
If
look for
anybody else there
something.
is good with audio
I'll-
programs, we want
I'm
your
pretty
drone
good with
jingle.
like Final Cut audio stuff, so I can make something on my computer.
Final
Some
Cut. Excellent.
how tech stuff has changed since y'all started.
That's
Yeah.
probably pertinent.
Yeah.
We can talk about that. The way things used to be. I know
We got touchscreen.
we got a touch screen. You know, it's funny. My 3-year-old knows that now. We'll
Uh-oh.
come in like, "Mommy, Dad got a touch screen," and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Daddy, look what I'm doing.
So I fully remember, and we'll get into this, but when I started off in the world of production, things like convergence was a buzzword. Like one day when computers and AV technology will be so intertwined, and now we've gone so far beyond that. Like I don't think that it's even possible to do a production without computers anymore. Without production, computer controlled rigging, IP-based comm systems, everything. There's no tapes anymore. All video is digital roll-ins.
Yeah.
Of course, your recording and acquisition, lighting controls are digital, computer-based. Consoles.
Disney's
soundboards.
Disney's Newsies is in town. They just opened up on Wednesday. I went to opening night for it, and
Humble brag.
the automated rigging in this thing is freaking outrageous. I was sitting there in awe through the whole thing. I think right after intermission, I was sitting in my chair, just sitting there crying, going, "This is what I got into this to do." And I work in a theater that seats 300 or 100 people. But it was
Yeah.
this automated rigging stuff is becoming huge in all of these shows, like not just theater shows. Go to the Super Bowl and see what they do with all this automated rigging.
Yeah, where they can get these massive halftime shows in place.
Yeah.
In,
I mean-
seconds.
Well, it was also like there is a Olympics. Olympics is starting to use automated rigging for some of their stuff. I remember watching the London Olympics with all the rigging, the rings coming up and stuff like that.
Was that the London?
The London one where the smokestacks. So that's probably one of my favorite ones I've seen. But they also use it in Sochi and
Was
stuff like
it
that.
the Chinese one where the
The
one
big
ring
LED
didn't
screen?
open?
Yeah, that was the
That was
the
good.
one. No, that was in Sochi. That was in Sochi,
Russia.
Russia.
That was Russia?
Yeah, because the big joke was
Wow.
that the person that was in charge of that was going to get shot by Putin.
Dictatorship murder jokes on the Lone Star. Golly.
We should really close this out because
We
I
should.
need some sticky toffee pudding.
Play us out, Keyboard Cat. Let's talk about some other ways that people can find out more about the Showtech Show. Thank you very much for joining us once again, folks. If you'd like to check out more Showtech Show in your spare time, you can see our past episodes on YouTube. Our TV channel there, our channel on YouTube is TV Lone Star. You can find the Showtech Show playlist where we'll update it every week as new productions come out. Connect with us on Twitter. We're at Showtech Show. You can follow us and direct message us, and we'll incorporate your non-boneheaded things right here on the air. It's amazing. If you want to send us email the old-fashioned way, you can write to us. showtechshow@frontiertelevision.com is the address. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got more show topic ideas or want to be on the show or questions or comments or complaints, send them there. And, of course, you can join us each week live here on the Lone Star at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're at frontiertelevision.com. We do appreciate you watching, and we will see you next week. Good night, all.